Hello everyone and welcome to a new video on the channel. Today we are setting up for the month of April in my reading journal. I do apologise that this is a little bit delayed in getting out to you, and also happy Easter for those who celebrate. It is Good Friday here when I am narrating this, and also the video will be going up as soon as I render it. Like I said, I'm behind. I filmed this a few days ago and had every intention of getting this up at the same time. However, it's also my sister's birthday today, and I had to make her present, and I didn't have enough time to do everything. So it's all done now, and I've got the time to sit down and talk about the setup. So if you're new here, each month I am taking you to a different fantasy location in my reading journal. So for January we went to Basquiat War College, in February we went to Alfheim, in March we went to, where did we go? Oh, we went to Terracin, and then this month we're on the sea, and we're travelling in style on the Marawati, which is more commonly known as a boat in, or a very fancy ship, in The Adventures of Amina, al-Sirafi. If you haven't read this book, it's by Shannon Chakraborty. I highly recommend it. It's one of my absolute favourite reads of last year. It is about a middle-aged mother who was once renowned for being one of the most notorious pirates in the Indian Ocean, and because she's had a child, she has gone into a bit of seclusion to protect her daughter, and has given up her ways of being a pirate, and is then challenged with one more adventure. And it's really fascinating and interesting. If you love Pirates of the Caribbean, this reads very cinematic, so such a great read. And the characters being older and having like aches in their bones from when they were younger and they could do whatever they wanted. It's really funny, and I really love all the voices in this story, and I cannot wait for book 2. So I decided for April, since it's one of my friend's birthdays and she absolutely loved this world as much as I did, that I would dedicate this to her, and that is Monica. I've talked about her a lot on this channel. She's the bibliophile by night. I will link her Instagram below, but she's absolute godsend to me, and I cannot wait for her to see this. Yeah, a bit about this setup. I've done the sneak peek page, which gives us the sort of theme for the month, and now we're working on the cover side, and I've used this font and turned it into rope. I did this a few years ago in one of my other journals, just an everyday journal, and I absolutely loved it. This paper is like years old, and I used the same paper back then too, so I really like this rope font with this paper, and printed out all these wonderful images that represent, adventure on the sea, and very much so representing sort of the period as well, because obviously this is set as a historical fiction as well. And I'm just super happy with how this came together. Again, my friend Millie, who helps me with all the Pinterest sleuthing, helped me a great deal with this setup, and I'm really happy with the photos that she found and some of the others that I added to it at the end. Just really excited to see this all come together for you all to see as well. I did use my sticker paper again for the cover pictures, but I didn't use them for the other pictures. I don't know why. Makes my life a lot easier when it's the sticker paper, believe it or not. But once these are all stuck down, they're the only ones that I could do this way. I had to do the rest of them with tape dispenser. A couple of other things that I wanted to mention in this video is that I have a new desk now. I've actually moved out of my room, and that is another reason for why the narration of this video is a little late. I find it challenging now that I don't have a door and an enclosed space to get the time to narrate things in a quiet space. I am sort of wouldn't say out in the open, I am in my own little nook, but it does mean that there are other noises in the house, and I've kindly asked my mum, who's playing a game on her computer, to turn it down so I could narrate this for you all today. But the new desk means that it's wider, and it means hopefully my head won't pop in nearly as much as it used to. It also means I have more space to set up these videos for you all and create more mess, as you can see to the left there. At this point I'd only just moved into the space and I didn't have a trash can or anything like that, so you could see how messy the left side of the desk got as I continued my chaos of setting up this journal. But now I have a trash can. Hopefully in the future I can be a little bit less chaotic, but we all know how I get when I'm setting up these videos. I'm focusing on getting the stuff down and not so much about being aesthetic around myself. I have one more photo, I think, to stick down on this cover page. I do wish that I hadn't really covered the entire page in all these photos. Like, I love them, but it does make the header look a little lost in there, but I still am happy enough with the overall result. I really want to try and do like a messy collage, but there's just something in me that just needs the lines, the structure, and everything to sort of be conformed. Um, you can see the little bit around the header that I've had to change the shape, and that was a little bit different from all the rest that I've done this year, but hopefully I can do a messy one in the next coming months, because I really want to, I just don't know how to go about it with the way that I like to see things put down. We're now on to the monthly view, and last month I changed this up and started doing it slightly differently, and I'm doing it again this month. I still haven't really decided if I like it this way or not. So essentially, instead of writing every day the percentage of what I've read, I'm doing lines to represent the books where I read them and finished them. The only thing that I find difficult about this is some days I don't read that book, so I've been putting a little X in the line to show that I didn't read it that day, but the book was open, if that makes sense. Otherwise I'd have to keep going back and forth to try and figure out which line's which. You'll get to see what I mean when I do my monthly wrap up for March, and I have a confession to make. I haven't actually been using my journal pretty much all of March. I haven't filled in really anything, and that's down to just moving my whole life out of my bedroom. I outgrew my space in my room with all my craft supplies, and also trying to rush to get this present done for my sister's birthday. I don't talk about my artwork very often on here, but I do have sort of a hobby business with some art that I do, and it takes a lot of time to make them, so I've been here, there, and everywhere all over March trying to get things done in order to meet my sister's birthday, the deadline, as well as the fact that she's now of age. She's turning 18, and that came with a few things that I had to fill in along the way for her, and challenges to meet with now that she's going to be of age here in our country, to fill in paperwork and stuff. So it's been really tiring. I'm so glad that we're at Easter now and that this month is almost over, so we can flip into April and have an easier time, because this month has been really hectic. So hopefully I'll get to fill in my journal sometime in the next day or two and get it all caught up, ready for the monthly wrap up. I have got a little bit in there, but I just stopped pretty much halfway through the month and have been keeping everything updated in my little planner that I have for my reading journal, which has been an absolute godsend, because I can just reach for it whenever and fill it in really quickly, and I don't have to care about how it looks. So that has been really helpful while I've been so hectic, because I have still been reading quite a great deal. So we're almost done with the monthly view here. Just going to put in the days of the week, and then I'm leaving the rest of the bottom of the page blank for now. I do end up putting a little bit of rope down the bottom, But aside from that, this side is done, and we're going to move on to the arcs and book haul sections, and also add a little bit of decoration. I hadn't done all the headers at this point. I was kind of winging it as I went, but you'll notice that there is a bit of a skip in time because I had to let my battery charge, and we are now back with headers at least inked down on the page and all the rope details put in. I've just got to colour them in and then stick in the decoration, and you'll find that for the rest of the book I've actually gone ahead off camera whilst it was charging and filled in all the headers ahead of time, because they do take quite a long time to create. One thing I love about doing the handwritten headers is that they look really unique, but they do take a lot longer than, you know, sticking down a header or printing it out. And I'm always conscious about how much time I have to spare for those things. So this setup did take a lot longer to set up overall, but a lot of the footage wasn't actually stuff that I showed. It was more behind the scenes, making sure there were spaces for everything and doing all that line art. So you also notice that I've made a little bit of an error here, and so I pulled that off, and I'm very happy with the overall look on this side. It looks very much so like an adventure that I probably wouldn't ever take, but it really does make me think of how adventurous the book that this is based off of feels to me. I think this is probably my favourite setup so far this year, and I'm looking forward to the upcoming themes. We're actually, in some ways, there's a couple of months where we haven't planned out what is going to be that month, and May is that month. So we have a couple of places that we've listed down, my friend and I, that is helping me with this project. And hopefully we can come to a decision soon, because I do find that I need to be a little bit ahead of myself. June is already locked in, and I have several other places to visit that I really want to do. I just don't know exactly which month we're going to put them on, so I think I'm going to have to sit down and plan that out a little bit. But I think I've got December as well planned out. But apart from that, it's really interesting trying to plan these themes out when you know what you want, but also you don't know when you want them. But May is very much so down to two places that start with an A, and I'm not sure which one we're going to end up picking. I'm probably leaning towards one more than the other, but that will mean that we'll now need to search for those photos, because this actually takes a lot of time off camera as well, looking for the theme aesthetics. And like I said, I've been really fortunate to have my friend who's really good at looking for things as well as enjoys doing it, and helping me with this project while I have other pursuits as well. But I do enjoy looking at the photos and trying to find things that I think would work for the themes. And this one was one that I was super excited about when we got to the point of looking for these photos, because we don't do it immediately when we've planned it out. So I told my friend like maybe 2 weeks ago what the chosen theme for April was going to be, and she knocked it out of the park. I'm just so happy with this. I think it's because we both loved this book so much. This is one of the books that we read for book club last year that everyone loved. I don't think there was anyone who didn't give it 5 stars. We all just loved it so much, and like I said, we all can't wait for book 2, and I think we'll be reading that together. I think it comes out in 2025, which is a longer wait than I expected, but I'm ready for it whenever it drops. We're on to the last page now, and you might notice that if you followed from February and March's setup, there was an extra page, and normally the reading log was just starting on the right. I am not doing a readathon at the front of the book this time around, simply because I've set up for this specific year-long readathon at the back of the book, so I didn't need that page, and I consolidated everything else down. I found that I didn't need my DNF/sampled section, and I didn't really read anything on Audible this month. Actually, no, I did read one book on Audible, but it didn't need its own space. So I decided that since I wasn't utilizing it in March, that I would simply give that space up in April, and we'll see if I need it again in the future. But I'm super happy with the setup so far. I really like the brown and the blue tones. I use the blue tones pretty much the same color scheme actually when I set this up in my everyday journal, which I am super excited to try again. I just like this color combination. It works really well together. I've also set up only the first 12 books in this reading log. I'm not sure if I will need a second page, probably will because of how much I keep reading, but I decided to just do the one 2-page spread for now and see how I go in April, just because I didn't know how much space I would require. I've still got some pictures left over to fill in any gaps if I do end up with a page that doesn't have a full 2-page spread of reading logs. I've also got some to use for the stats page, which I always set up at the end of the month. So we're pretty much at the home stretch now for this video. I just have to fill in all these titles once I've got the colour down, which I won't leave in the video because it does take a long time to write them all out. I think that's the one thing that about this new setup that I've been doing for 2024 that I've noticed that it takes a great deal longer is the reading log. I find it really nice to look at and aesthetically pleasing, but yeah, definitely makes you work for the layout. But I have the magic of being able to cut that out so you don't have to sit here and watch me painstakingly write out all the titles and not remember them off the top of my head, which at this point you'd think that I would know the layout off by heart. But I do enjoy sharing the part where I put in the stamping. I think it's really fun to watch, and the little stars all arrive on the page. I do find this a lot better than my previous setup, and I love this stamp. It's from the Quirky Cup Collective Reading Journal stamp set. Highly recommend these stamps. Very high quality, and they have, this one especially has been an absolute game changer for my reading journal habits. But that is it. We've done the reading log now, and I left in this little portion of me cleaning up and getting everything out of the way to take the final flip through shots. Um, like I said, trash bin wasn't available at that point, but the desk is wide enough to hide it. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I hope you really enjoy the adventure that we're going to go on for April. I'm so happy with this theme. I cannot wait to start using it, and hopefully, because I won't be as busy over April, I will be able to utilize it more often. Until we next meet, I hope you have fun reading. Bye everyone.